Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. This report and article comes to you guys straight from OpenSignal. I'll leave a link to it in the description for those of you who may have not seen it. So this is interesting. That's why I like to look at all of the reporting. I look at Ookla, then I look at OpenSignal, and then I look at RootMetrics. So OpenSignal already shows something completely different versus Ookla. Ookla showed us a much higher discrepancy between Verizon and AT&T as it pertains to speed. OpenSignal does not show the same. OpenSignal on the 5G experience shows AT&T closing the gap to Verizon quicker than Verizon to T-Mobile. For those of you who remember, on Ookla, the gap was quite large. Verizon was at like 224 megabits and AT&T was at like 142. And that was on the 5G speed. This shows something completely different. That's why I like to look at all of them. So now if RootMetrics comes out and they also show us a bit of a closer gap, then that tells us, okay, yes, AT&T is closing the gap. Now, if RootMetrics also shows us a wider gap, then we could make the assumption, okay, AT&T is not doing too great overall, because each of them use different ways of getting their data. So this is the 5G experience that you're seeing on screen. And then overall, which also kind of sort of makes sense, the download experience, is AT&T is overall with LTE and 5G faster than Verizon. So AT&T still has the modernization scale because of FirstNet. So a lot of rural sites that Verizon is now getting to and touching, AT&T has already upgraded with the latest and greatest as it pertains to modernization on the LTE side. So they have all of their carriers operational, and sites in rural that were HSPA are now on LTE. So AT&T still has to go out to those sites and upgrade with C-band where they see fit. But Verizon is now getting there. So Verizon will get better very quickly. They're aggressively deploying all of their C-band assets. The problem with Verizon, and I just want to briefly point that out in this video, Verizon only has one layer of 5G, or one coverage layer of 5G, and that's really C-band. I was told most areas are back to LTE as it comes to 850 and 700 never went to 5G, but it's mostly now just C-band. So as everyone else moves and dedicates AWS, PCS, they move that over to 5G. T-Mobile having low band on 5G at the scale and bandwidth that they do, right? In some markets, it's 15 by 15, 20 by 20 on N71. Verizon is going to be struggling a bit. I was not aware that they were so far behind in dedicating the additional 5G layers. I understood that band 13 was not a certified NR band just yet. But the fact that they moved all of 850 back to LTE in most markets, and the markets where 850 is on NR, they are calling those trial markets, so, or beta, or whatever you want to call it. So they are not ready at all to go to like a full 5G SA core voice of NR. I mean, that I'm very confident in this video. Verizon is not doing anything SA related at bigger scale this year. If anything, you might see some SA on C-band this year, but that's going to be a trial and beta as well. Next year, I'm told there will be more SA. We are likely looking at 2026 for anything bigger on the standalone core voice of NR. We're going to probably be closer to 2026. That's because Verizon at scale is so far behind as it comes to the radio swaps, the modernization. They need all those pieces to be able to make this whole standalone thing work. And right now, they're not anywhere close. I mean, look at the availability percentage according to OpenSignal. They are not anywhere close of getting this going anytime soon. So again, AT&T looking to rebound here. They're aggressively deploying on sites, on the FirstNet sites, I'm told, that have already been modernized. That's going to be a very quick deployment. They just go at the midband and they leave. So that's a bit easier for AT&T. Now, the Nokia to Ericsson swaps, I mean, that's just going to have to be an ongoing thing. There's nothing we can do about that. That's going to take some time, likely through the end of 2026. That's how long it'll take for AT&T to go through those swaps. So I don't anticipate AT&T to do too much on the SA side either. I mean, I know there's some stuff, some standalone stuff coming this year still, but they're not going to go all out with everything. T-Mobile right now is really, I know some of you might hate to say it, but they are really the best positioned at full scale, meaning nationwide, to really do this 5G thing as it pertains to anything 5G, voice over NR, two carrier aggregation on uplink, massive MIMO uplink, moving AWS and PCS over to massive MIMO, all of that. T-Mobile is just the best position today and the furthest along with any of that. And it's going to be more apparent as each year passes. So this year, T-Mobile grew again. They added more 5G to more places. Next year, they will do that again. And any site that still needs to be upgraded, I mean, they're getting upgraded this year or next year or the year after, right? There's still going to be keep sites. But even with that, even if you perceive T-Mobile to be a bit behind on that, they're still going to be much further along than anything the competition is doing on 5G. So I'll be honest, the 2-year lead that T-Mobile is claiming on the 5G side, right? Just the scale and the radios and panels, that might now be about 3 years. Probably about a 3-year lead now, because the only thing Verizon is really deploying right now and aggressively is just one coverage layer, and that's C-band, which is a big deal for their home broadband and FWA, but they got some work to do. And AT&T is probably the second best positioned in the whole 5G thing. They're moving stuff to NR. They're deploying C-band and DoD as quickly as they can. They're putting it on C-RAN now. So that's happening, but AT&T also still a ways to go. So this report is good for AT&T. This shows progress. We will have to see the root metrics reports. I'm hoping they release them today or tomorrow. It's going to be very soon. So stay tuned for more. This is good to see for AT&T. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you've seen improvements from AT&T. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Live. See y'all in the next one. Peace.